Welcome everyone to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Wednesday, June 29th, 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so we are still in the third quarter phase of the lunar cycle, which is about integration, bridging the gap between what are two seemingly different areas of life, which has been the moon in Pisces, which has been more about that receptive energy, that sensitivity, and developing that intuition, but merging that with what is a very intellectual time. We've got the Sun and Venus both in Gemini, which is about learning. And so this makes it still a great time for enjoying perhaps reading, maybe doing some writing, and some exchanging with others. So that's still very strong. And again, it's all about that integration of how we can bring in that intuition into the mind, into those daily activities, and perhaps learn a bit more about ourselves on that spiritual level. Now, the moon is going to be shifting into Aries the second half of the day, so there will be this definitive shift where the first half might still be receptive. We'll start to feel perhaps a bit more of this focus on independence, right? This concern for independence, which is what Aries is all about. And this is a very important day for that fiery, independent energy because Mars is going station direct here today. So there's this pause with Mars. Mars has been retrograde these past few months, and so I think we've been learning a lot about what motivates us in life. What gives us that drive? What gives us that ambition? But now there's this pause with it, and perhaps even this shift in the evening time of things beginning to move forward. Maybe a new sense of motivation, a new sense of drive. So whatever that is, it's going to be subtle because it does take Mars some time to gain that energy as we go into July. Those motivational levels and drives and desires will start to pick up speed and momentum. But today it's good to stop and pause with this for a second. Maybe even reflect on what we've learned these past few months regarding those things that motivate us in life, or what we've learned about that. And a lot of it too has been about the importance of having tact and cooperation and harmony, mutuality, which is all of this Libra energy. Mars here, particularly this past month, there's been this reflection about how we can have more of this harmony while still getting things done, while still asserting ourselves or learning more about what motivates us in life. So it's a good day to move forward with this, how we can continue to cultivate these things that we desire, but in a way of mutuality, in a way of cooperation and working with others. And I think that's a lot of what we will continue to learn about now as we start to implement this Mars energy moving into July. So that's going to be the strongest astrological event, is the station with Mars. We do have the moon sextiling up to Mercury. In fact, Mercury is beginning to shift into Gemini, which is a much easier place for Mercury to be in. It's his home sign of Gemini. So this is comfortable. So this has to do with our minds now coming into an area which is a bit more about exchanging and learning, whereas before in Taurus is a bit more slow and steady, grounded, patient with all of that. So I think we'll probably feel things picking up a bit when it comes to the intellect again and the mind and communications. But a first half of the day, great for those things. The second half, as we get into that moon in Aries, that concern and that focus perhaps on the self, our independence, our drives, reflecting on that with Mars, we do enter into the balsamic phase. And this will be strongest emphasis over the weekend, which will be this lowering of energy as we approach this new moon next week. So very early next week, we are going to have a new moon in Gemini. So this will be new beginnings with all this intellectual and learning that's going on in our lives. But this weekend will be good to clear some space, maybe get some of that R&R for that new beginning around the corner. All right, but today's still definitely about that integration. Again, first half, Pisces, intuition. Second half going into that drive and independence, all while reflecting on it. With Mars station, this pause, maybe a pause with those motivational levels, but things starting to move forward, maybe a shift of perspective about what motivates us in life going into July. All right, so I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.